Welcome to the Girl Power Alliance podcast, where you're going to meet and hear from some inspiring women with incredible stories who are leading in business and in faith. We are on a mission to impact the world by empowering women to dream bigger through kingdom-minded mentoring and leadership. This is where women grow. Welcome to another episode of the Girl Power Alliance podcast. I'm excited to introduce you to my guest today, the beautiful, lovely Diana. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She was born in Colombia. She moved to the United States when she was a baby. She lived in New York until she was about 8 years old, and her family moved to South Florida, which is what she calls home now. She has two beautiful children, Mikayla and Milan. She's a full-time teacher at a private Christian school, elementary school. She loves to work out. Her hobbies are riding bikes, skating, going to the beach. And she is a blogger and just opened an online shop. Is that what you've just begun?
Yes.
That's exciting. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. Well, we have so many things to talk about. First of all, I would love to hear how you feel like you just started a business during this crazy time. Did you feel like God was moving you into something new?
Yes, definitely. I actually thought when I was kind of preparing for this podcast, I was thinking my blog and my business is actually a product of my quiet time with God during quarantine.
Wow.
I think that was in the back in probably around April. I was obviously we were like really in lockdown back then, it was like do not go out at all. And so what I did was I created a routine. That that I made sure that I was taking advantage of all of my time, because something that I think could have happened was that I just stuck to Netflix and just binge watched Netflix the whole quarantine. And so I decided, I'm going to take some time and I'm going to make sure that I make a schedule and that I have my quiet time every single day with God. And I think that in those quiet moments, I think I took about 3 weeks, 21 days that I intentionally got off of social media. I deleted Instagram, I deleted Facebook, and I just focused on God. And during that time, he really just gave me that inspiration to start a blog. I've always loved to write, and I think that I express myself very well writing. And so it just kind of went that way, that I wanted to express the message that I have inside of me. I wanted to put it down in writing, and what a better way, right? I feel like at a point in time, I want to write a book, but I feel like it's not my time just yet. And so what was another alternative to that, to putting it in writing, but it not being a book? I think it was starting a blog. So that's how it started. And then it kind of like, it has grown. It hasn't been too long. My blog is actually very new. I launched it 2 months ago, but I have my following has grown. The feedback that I have received from people has really been amazing, like just them identifying with what I'm writing about. And so every time that somebody private messages me about what they got from my blog is just a confirmation that that was the right thing to do. So that's kind of how it started.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So we're recording this in August, so that means you actually launched your blog in June?
Yes, in June.
That's exciting. Well, I mean, it's inspiring, and I'm sure that people are listening are feeling the same thing. By the time this podcast come out, it'll be close to the time around the holidays. And so who knows what the world will look like when this gets released. But, we've been basically dealing daily with the after effects of the COVID-19 crisis and all that has, impacted our lives in such a dramatic way. People not able to go to work, kids not being able to start school. And, a lot of people went into depression and kind of a tailspin, and instead though, God really impressed something on your heart. So I know that people are listening and just feeling that's such an inspiring thing to know that regardless of the circumstances, you can still take steps moving forward and starting something absolutely completely new.
Exactly. I think for me, it was quarantine was God's excuse to get me alone with him. That's that's the best way to explain it. And I think that obviously, yes, as you said, we're going to be in a different season probably when this comes out. But even if we're not in COVID anymore, which hopefully, right, that's the situation. I want to still put that little seed of faith in everyone's heart that it doesn't matter what season you're in, it's a great season to stop, to pause, to set some time apart, to get with God. And whatever it is that your dream is, I feel like God is the one that puts it there, whether it be in my case, a blog or some other business or just anything, fitness, health, whatever it is that I feel that it's your dream, traveling, that is your dream. I feel like God puts it there. And then when you can spend that time with him so that he can inspire you in how to do it, how to turn it into a reality, that's what's going to be key to getting it done.
I am we're on the same wavelength. I believe that wholeheartedly that God puts actually I believe he puts many dreams in our
Right.
hearts and as we walk them out one by one, once we realize the first purpose or one of the purposes, then he'll open up the next and the next. And so that's kind of what's happened for you. You've got this opportunity to have quiet time with the Lord. You started the blog. And then just even since we spoke the last time, you started an online shop. Talk to
Yep.
us about that.
Well, basically what happened is when I wrote my very first blog, it's called Girlfriends, and you'll be able to see it on my website. The very first one, the way that I ended it was about creating a life that you love. I don't know how that came to me, but I know that I was writing and that ended up like being on the text, right? And so when I wrote that, create a life that you love, a life by you, because my blog is called Life by Diana. Um, I I was like, this is my message, like this is the core of everything that I want to write about. I want to inspire because the background, the backstory, right, to me writing is that I what is the word? Battled a lot with comparison and discontentment and just comparing my insecurities, comparing myself with somebody else's journey. That has always been, and I've been Christian since I was 15 years old, but it has always been something that I have battled with internally. And so that stopped me from enjoying my own life. And so then when I put that in writing, create a life that you love, obviously I always end every blog with that. Everything, if it's about creating a life that you love in whatever subject, that's what I want to write about. And so that hashtag started catching on. And so one thing that me and my girlfriends used to do was go bike riding during, like, once the beaches opened, we started bike riding at the beach, and then we would get into the ocean, and we would, every time we would do that, we would put it on social media, and we would hashtag create a life that you love. And so one day I woke up, another day during the week, I woke up and a friend, somebody else, just somebody that followed me, had gone to the beach, had jogged or something, got into the ocean, and then posted it online, create a life that you love. And I was like, what? For me, it was just humbling that I had inspired her to do that. And so I was like, wow, this is really catching. And like that, I started seeing different people just posting and hashtagging create a life that you love. And so I was just like, I think that that's just something that I want to just motivate for it to be in people's minds. Everybody, in whatever it is that you do, enjoy your life, and don't compare yourself with anybody else. Enjoy the journey that God has you in. And I was like, okay, so what's the best way to do that? And I thought, I want to put that slogan on apparel. And so since I work out a lot, I bike ride, I rollerblade, I just work out. I just love it. I wanted, initially it was going to, or it is going to be a line of athletic apparel, but I needed to start somewhere. And that's why I started with these shirts. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is one of them. This is actually the one that has sold out. The first day that I launched it, it completely sold out. Right now, I am doing a second shipment of this shirt, and I already have pre-orders on it. And so it's very simple. Just create a life that you love. And I also have it in pink. Right now in August, I have those too. But for the holidays, I hope that by then I have more. And in that case, I want to do, more sports apparel. And so I just love it. That's kind of where it's gone. And again, everybody, I think it's been successful because they've caught on, or the people that have followed me have caught on to that vision. And everybody wants that for their own life, to live a life that they love.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about. So God laid it on your heart to begin a blog. You had this thought in your mind that became a hashtag, which is now an apparel line. It's like each step leads you to the next step.
Yeah.
Like I love how God does that for us, but it takes the courage of actually taking the first steps before you can even make anything happen. You have to take the first step.
Exactly. Stepping out in faith. Honestly, like, I'm very patient about it. I'm a full-time teacher. And so school starting, and now I have to, make sure that I have time for my business and for my current job. But I'm not rushed in my heart. I feel like it's going to be a slow journey, but as long as, your health, like you stay connected to God, and your motivations and what you write about is to bless people, that's going to slowly grow. And I'm fine. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with saying, right now I'm just starting. Right now, my following is this much. Right now, this is how much, I sell. It's small, but I believe that as long as my message is about, Jesus and sharing his love, I know that it will continue to grow. And I don't know where I'll be in 6 months or where I'll be in 2 years, but I have faith that as long as I continue to bless people, God is going to grow that.
Hey, everything started small.
Exactly.
Nothing started and was massive. So,
Exactly.
the courage that it takes to begin anything, a blog where you're sharing, your vulnerabilities in your heart, starting an apparel line, all of these things, they take a special type of courage to really step out and just say, okay, God, I feel like this is where you're calling me, and I'm going to take the steps. And so I just think it's very, very inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, okay, what do you think's next on the horizon for you?
Next, I don't know. Like I said, I do want to, at some point, write a book. I think that one of the messages that I have that I have received most feedback from is, one that I wrote on co-parenting. And just a little background, I am actually, after, like I said, I've walked with Jesus since I was 15 years old. I was married for 12 years. I have 2 kids. But unfortunately, my marriage ended in divorce. And so I find myself in a different situation as a single mom. And one of the things that I believe that is what God most wants me to speak to is single moms and how they manage their relationship with their ex-spouse for benefit of the children, because it's not our children's fault. It's, and they every child lives it differently. Every child has different emotions and expresses it in a different way. um but it is our responsibility to not take it out on them that it didn't work out with that person. And I think that it's a very sensitive subject, because in no moment do I want to condone, I think is the word, divorce. That I don't want for it to be like it's okay to get a divorce. It's not in God's heart. I think that divorce, God doesn't want us to live divorce, because ultimately it hurts us. That's something that God spoke to me about personally. Like, it's not that like God telling me, it's not that I don't love you because you got a divorce. It doesn't take away the love that I have for you. It's just that when you go through divorce, you're hurting. He's hurting. The kids are hurting, and God doesn't want us to hurt. But unfortunately, it's a reality for many people, including Christians. And so I feel like it is an audience that not a lot of people are talking about, that how important it is to maintain a healthy relationship with your ex-spouse to benefit your children. It's about the children. It's about kids. And so I think that that's definitely, amongst all the things that I write about, that is where God really has nudged me, that's something big that I will be talking about in a different way. Just because I've already put it out there, and I've already seen the need, that just single moms and single dads too, because it's not always, it's not always the woman that's the victim, or the man that's the victim. Every situation is different. But I feel like that's definitely somewhere that I'm going to end up going.
It is an important thing. And, it is a reality, and being, like I said, vulnerable to share your story and to inspire other people. I think it's a big call. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing that.
Thank you.
So will you
pray for me?
share with everybody listening how they can find your blog, how they can find your apparel.
Okay, so my blog is lifebydiana.com. And once you go in there, you will find a tab for shop, and that's where you can find all of my in the time that you're listening to this, my Christmas specials. But yes, that's how you get there. And on Instagram, I am _life.by.diana.
Awesome. And if you're listening to this on an audio podcast, all of her information will be in the show notes. So you don't have to worry about writing it down. You can just click on it. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just right below the video and all the details, you'll be able to connect with her and read through her blog and check out all of her apparel, which by the time this gets released, who knows what you're going to have.
Yeah, who knows where we'll be.
I mean, literally things are changing so rapidly right now that by the time this comes out, you may have some wonderful stuff. So I'm always a big believer in supporting other believers in their business. So please check it out, and make sure to follow her on social media and follow her blog, subscribe to her blog. And I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on here.
Oh, I appreciate you. And you're doing really good work. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow. What a little fireball. I love it. The quarantine literally led her to have a quantum leap in her life. And we can just only say, thank you, God, for that. You know, what the enemy meant for harm, God will turn for our good and for his glory. Doesn't that just give you peace of mind? As we are literally smack dab in the middle of the holiday season, just a couple of weeks away from, massive celebrations with our family to celebrate the birth of Christ, to exchange gifts and eat yummy food and get bloated because we're eating bad, yummy food. I just want to encourage you, if you're not yet a member of the GPA family, then head over to girlpoweralliance.com and join us. We're doing some pretty remarkable things together for each other and for the kingdom of God. And if God has laid it on your heart that your ministry is supposed to be in the marketplace, then this is the community for you. I'm telling you. We have met for a reason. And more than anything, we want to help you grow. And if you have really been looking to up-level your leadership, then the Radiant Leadership Academy is for you. Our first session starts in January. It's a very discounted price right now because it is the first session and be kind of doing a little bit of a beta with it. It is a 16-week in-depth biblical leadership discipleship study that is going to up-level all areas of your life and help you to develop into the leader that God actually created you to be on this planet as a woman, as a leader, as a kingdom impact focused member of, the world. And so head over to girlpoweralliance.com. You can click on the Radiant Leadership tab, or you can just go directly to radiantleadershipacademy.com and get registered. Of course, members have special membership pricing. You do not have to be a member of GPA to be a part of this 16-week course. And I just want to encourage you to do so because I believe that 2021 is going to be a transformational year for the kingdom. And the kingdom needs you, your voice, your impact, your perspective, your heart. And, the best way to really fulfill your purpose is to dive into the Word of God and to take hold of your authority, your leadership, and really to up-level it. So join us. You still have time to get registered. Still have a couple weeks till we get started. Head over there and do that right now. We even have a payment plan so that you can, get registered, get started with us, and pay over a couple of months. I just appreciate you and thank you. Make sure to like us and follow us on social media. And never forget, this is where women grow.